Greetings and welcome to another message regarding warning every man. I'm speaking to lost people so that I can help them to see the seriousness of being lost. I'm warning all lost people continuously, Monday through Friday. I will do this so that you go to our website, thescripturesalonebibleschool.net. thescripturesalonebibleschool.net. Go there and click on salvation on the home page. It says start with salvation. Just click on salvation. 82 minutes of truth from this book, the mighty King James Bible, regarding your sins and how you get them all forgiven and how you get right in the eyes of God, as God will indeed justify you. But you need to first believe the warning. If you don't believe the warning, forget it. You're without remedy. All right, let me show you something here in the Bible. In Romans chapter 6, there is a spiritual truth that you need to understand. Verse 23, for the wages of sin is death. People wrongly think that somehow, some way, your sins are going to be excused or just swept under the carpet, so to speak, or overlooked by God. Because you're not as bad as the next guy. You're not perfect, but yet you're not the worst person on earth. And you think that somehow, some way, your many sins that you have committed, transgressions against the laws of God. And remember, the thought of foolishness is sin, the Bible declares in Proverbs 24, verse 9. So you have a lot of sins to pay for. One sin is all it takes to produce and give you death. Physical death, that's why people die. And then spiritual death, the death of your soul, the second death when you're cast into the lake of fire. But you have to understand something about sin. Sin will be paid for. For the wages of sin is death. What your sin earns is death. Now, you may say, well, I know I'm going to die physically. It's the second death you need to be afraid of. The second death, when you are cast into the lake of fire. The death of your soul. That Bible is clear in Revelation 21:8. All liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The second death. But this is what I want you to understand. For the wages of sin is death. That's the punishment. That's what you earn. Sin, once you commit a sin, it doesn't go away. You can't go to the stupid priest in the Roman Catholic Church and say, hey, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. You're sinning by calling him Father. That's in violation of Matthew 23, verse 9. You're to call no man upon the earth your father when it comes to religious titles. So you sin by simply calling him Father. But if you then were to go in there, no priest can forgive your sins. No priest can forgive your sins. The Bible is very clear. And if this is true about Jewish priests in Hebrews, if this is true about Jewish priests, I mean, think about this. If the Jewish priests that were ordained by God cannot get your sins forgiven, what are you going to do when you go to a fake priest today? Roman Catholic priests are fake. They weren't ordained by God. There's no priest today recognized by God. I don't know what's the matter with people. Every priest standeth daily, ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices, which can never take away sins. What are you going to do? If that Bible says regarding Jewish priests under a God-ordained system that everything they were doing, every priest standeth daily, ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices, which can never take away sins. Never. That's under the Jewish priests, the ones ordained by God, which aren't even in operation today. So some fake Catholic priest comes along and you go to him for confession. Father, forgive me for I have sinned. It's been 2 weeks since my last confession. And you tell him all your little dribble. And he gives you some penance, how many Hail Marys and Our Fathers to say. You don't get your sins forgiven that way, for the wages of sin is death. That's like doing this. You commit murder, which requires the death penalty in most states. So then you get caught, you get arrested, you go through trial, you're found guilty because you are guilty. And then you stand before the judge and you ask him to forgive you and let you go. No. Under the law, you have to pay for your crime, and the sentence is death. It's no different with God. For the wages of sin is death. When you sin against God, and you have, you're going to pay with it in your body. That's why you'll die. And then your soul, the second death, you'll be cast in the lake of fire. You can reject this book all you want, but I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to warn you, your sins will give you death. You can run and hide. You can have all the money in the world or be poor. It doesn't matter, and everything in between. You're going to pay. All right, go to our website, thescripturesalonbibleschool.net, and listen to Salvation so you can get all of your sins forgiven once and for all. God will forgive you for your lifetime of sin, but you got to understand what he says and what you must do to have it done. I warn you, you will not escape his judgment. Farewell.